Hello and welcome to Adventures in TV Land, a rambling review. Just recently, I saw Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, the sequel. It's a sequel to Puss in Boots, which came out in 2011, which was a spin-off of the Shrek franchise. Puss in Boots was a character who appeared in Shrek 2 and then later the other sequels in Shrek, and he got his own spin-off. He got his own series. He actually later, and I have not seen any episodes, I need to, but he had the series on Netflix as well. But he's back. He's back in this film. He's back in this movie. And Kitty Softpaws, voiced by Selma Hayek, she is back too. Now, the general plot of the film is that after the beginning of the movie, after a very heroic and fun, frivolic evening entertaining a town and saving a town from a massive stone land giant, Puss dies. But he wakes up. He doesn't realize he died until afterwards, and he's told by a doctor who really isn't a doctor. He is a doctor, but he's also the town veterinarian and barber and dentist, all those things. After talking with Puss in Boots realizes that he has used 8 of his 9 lives. The doctor tells him he needs to retire, and he gives him this address to this place to go for cats where this lady will take care of him. He can be a lap cat. Puss in Boots, he kind of scoffs it off. And he goes to his bar. You can tell, though, it has affected him a little bit, that knowledge that he's on his last life. And then he meets someone. He actually meets death. I won't give it away how death is personified in this film, but it's a good representation in here. There's a lot of stories, fairy tales and fables and things that feature this creature that is representative of death in this movie. For the first time, Puss is scared, and so he runs away and becomes a lap cat for a while. And then he finds out that the story he heard as a child a long time ago about this fallen wishing star is actually true. And so he sets off on this mission to go find the fallen wishing star so that he can get his wish and get his 9 lives back. Now, along the way, he makes some new friends, runs into Kitty Softpaws. There's Goldilocks and the 3 bears there in this story, as well as Jack Horner, from the nursery rhyme of the boy who stuck his thumb into a pie and pulled out a plum. He is a featured character in this film as well. In all honesty, I was not too sure what to expect from Puss in Boots. I'd heard some really good things. I heard it was good. I know initially at the box office it didn't do great, kind of underperformed. I hope it does better, because even though this is a sequel to a spin-off of another franchise, and it does at the very end of the movie, they kind of tie it back in, so there may be another Shrek movie down the line. Who knows? In the last movie, the last Puss in Boots came out in 2011. This sequel has a lot of heart. It's actually better, in my opinion, than the original Puss in Boots. It's got a really good message, a good story. It's about family, about what's important in life, and taking hold of those things and enjoying life and living your life to the fullest, embracing those you love and making the most of the life that you were given. That's the basic overall message. I mean, not just for Puss in Boots, but also for the other characters in the story. They all kind of learn that message, but in different ways for the most part. Some of them already realize that message beforehand and, they live it out. But that's kind of the theme that runs through the whole movie. The way it's portrayed, the way it's carried out in the movie, even though this is an animated movie, it's done in a very significant way. I enjoyed it a lot. I guess on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say a 7 or 8, in all honesty, compared to a lot of the other stuff I've seen in the past year that Hollywood has been producing out and throwing out there, and some of the TV shows on the streaming service and stuff like that. I would actually put it up probably as a 9, just because of how well everything is done in the film and portrayed, the message and how it's carried out. Another thing I really liked about this movie, the Shrek universe, including Puss in Boots, they would reference other movies. Particularly Shrek was, when it first came out, made fun of Disney movies quite a bit. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish does that, again, kind of the same way that the original Shrek did. Like, there's a couple of characters, secondary characters, one in particular, but it really nails that and points that home, like, beats overhead, like the way Disney. They've watered down some of these old fairy tales and nursery rhymes and things like that. And it makes fun of that in a very humorous way that really brings it home. I enjoy that. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship kind of with Disney myself. So, and right now, the way the company is going, who knows? I like old school Disney, but old school Disney doesn't exist right now. Anyway, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was a great film. It's a great family film. If you've got kids, nieces and nephews, take them to the movie. It's worth seeing on the big screen. This movie, unlike a couple of the other movies that are out that are kind of oriented towards families, it's the right length. It's not too long. It's not too short. It's just the right length. And it's got a great message and it's entertaining. There's enough jokes thrown in there, that enough allusions, literature into film and things like that for parents that younger kids may not pick up on. I enjoyed it. I recommend it. This has been another rambling review of Adventures in TV Land. Thank you for watching. Until next time, that's a wrap.